Okay, the recording has started. Okay, so for the sake of revision, let's just start from union itself, right? Let's just start from union itself for the sake of revision. It will take तो कम समय लगेगा. Okay, union of two sets. Okay, तो बेटे yes. तो देखो बेटे, if A and B are two sets, then A union B, okay, read as A union B is a set that carries each and every element of A and B both. ओके, लास्ट क्लास में यूनियन कवर कर दिए थे, फिर भी फॉर द सेक ऑफ रिवीजन बहुत क्विकली हम कवर करते हैं. आज ही ख़त्म कर देंगे बहुत सारी चीज़ें. तो देखो क्या लिखा है, मैं क्या लिखा हूँ कि अगर ए बी दो सेट है, इफ ए एंड बी आर टू सेट्स, देन ए यूनियन बी read as A union B. This symbol, you will read this symbol as union. Okay, A union B is another set that carries each and every element of A and B both. ठीक है, A B दो सेट है, आपको क्या करना है, सेट A सेट B दोनों का each and every element को लेके एक न्यू सेट बना दो, that will be A union B. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, सपोज सेट ए में मैं एलिमेंट रखा हूँ 1 2 3, सेट बी में एलिमेंट रख रहा हूँ 3 4 5, एंड वी वांट टू फाइंड ए यूनियन बी. अभी देखो ए यूनियन बी खुद एक सेट है, ओके, और ये किस टाइप का सेट है ना, ए यूनियन बी एक ऐसा सेट है जिसमें ए बी का ईच एंड एवरी एलिमेंट आके रहता है. ठीक है, उसके बाहर से कुछ नहीं रहेगा, ए बी के बाहर से कुछ और नहीं रहेगा, बस ए बी का ईच एंड एवरी एलिमेंट ही रहेगा इसमें. तो ए का 1 2 3 ले आए. अभी बी में देखो फिर से 3 है, 3 ए में भी है बी में भी है, दोनों में कॉमन है 3. लेकिन कोई भी सेट में एक एलिमेंट को एक से ज़्यादा बार लिखा नहीं जाता, रिपीट नहीं किया जाता, एक बार ही काउंट किया जाता है. तो 3 को बस एक ही बार लिखा जाएगा. फिर बी का जो बाकी दो बचा 4 5. सो दिस इज आवर न्यू सेट ए यूनियन बी. दिस इज आवर न्यू सेट ए यूनियन बी. ओके, एज यू कैन सी दैट दिस न्यू सेट ए यूनियन बी, ये जो न्यू सेट हमने बनाया ए यूनियन बी. गुड मॉर्निंग सर. गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड मॉर्निंग. सो एज यू कैन सी दिस न्यू सेट ए यूनियन बी, इट कैरीज ईच एंड एवरी एलिमेंट ऑफ सेट ए एंड ईच एंड एवरी एलिमेंट ऑफ सेट बी. सेट ए का हर एक एलिमेंट इसमें मौजूद है. देखो 1 2 3, देयर आर 1 2 3, राइट. सेट बी का भी ईच एंड एवरी एलिमेंट में इसमें मौजूद है 3 4 5. यू कैन चेक इट आउट, इसमें 3 4 5 भी है. ओके, तो इसी को हम बोलते हैं दोनों का यूनियन. अब देखो बेटे, ए यूनियन बी सेट में किस टाइप. गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड मॉर्निंग. ओके, बेटे देखो ये जो ए, आई होप यहाँ तक सबका कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हुआ कि ए यूनियन बी क्या है, कि इसमें ए बी का ईच एंड एवरी एलिमेंट आके रहता है. अब देखो ए यूनियन बी के बी में किस टाइप के एलिमेंट रहते हैं, काइंड्स ऑफ एलिमेंट्स इन ए यूनियन बी. ए यूनियन बी में किस टाइप के एलिमेंट रहते हैं बेटा, देखो ए यूनियन बी में 3 टाइप के एलिमेंट रहते हैं. एक वो वाला एलिमेंट दैट बिलोंग टू ओनली सेट ए. जरा ऑब्जर्व करो, ये दो एलिमेंट 1 2, ये जो दो एलिमेंट है ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ सेट ए में है, इनका सेट बी के साथ कोई भी लेना देना नहीं. अब देख सकते हो 1 2, दीज 2 एलिमेंट्स दे बिलोंग टू ओनली सेट ए, दे डू नॉट बिलोंग टू सेट बी, मतलब ओनली सेट ए वाले एलिमेंट इसमें है. नेक्स्ट टाइप ऑफ एलिमेंट ओनली सेट बी. आप अगर ऑब्जर्व करो ये दो एलिमेंट को 4 5, दीज 2 एलिमेंट्स दे बिलोंग टू सेट बी ओनली, दे हैव नथिंग टू डू विथ सेट ए, दे बिलोंग टू सेट बी ओनली, राइट. दे आर ओनली एलिमेंट्स ऑफ सेट बी. एंड ऑल्सो ए थर्ड टाइप ऑफ एलिमेंट बिलोंग्स टू ए यूनियन बी. Third type of element that belong to both set A and set B, or you can say common to A and B. A third type of element is also there, which is common between the two sets. You can see here this one 3, this is common to both A and B, right? 3 belongs to both A and B. So what we saw, that A union B is a set that carries 3 different sorts of elements. Okay, one sort of element that belong to set A only, the other sort of element that belong to set B only, the other set of element that belong to both A and B only, right? Okay, now Venn diagram representation. Venn diagram, you see this is my set A and this is my set B. Okay, now A union B is the entire region covered by both A and B. Entire region covered by both A and B. Entire region. Okay, everything that is in there A and B, that will belong to A union B, right? Everything. Okay, this is your A union B. The shaded region is your A union B. Remember. Okay. Now, if I put these elements in these two sets in their respective positions, you see set A carries elements what? 1, 2, 3, right? Set A carries elements 1, 2, 3. So I'll put them here. 1, 2, somewhere here. And I will put 3 here. Why? Because the element 3, that is common to both set A and B. That belongs to A and B as well, right? So I will put the 3 in the junction between A and B, the common region shared by both set A and B. I will put it here 3. And the other 2 elements 4, 5, which belong to set B only, I will put them here, as you can see. Got it so far? As you can see here,
Yes, sir.
yes, as you can see here, that 1 and 2, these 2 elements that are there in the Venn diagram of set A only. Okay, they are not a part of the circle of B. They are not a part of the circle of B. Similarly, 4, 5, they belong to the circle of B only. They are not part of the circle of A. But the element 3 is a part of the circle of A as well as the circle of B. That means 3 is a common element of A. So this is the general Venn diagram of A union B. This is the general Venn diagram of A union B. Why do I say general Venn diagram? This is a general Venn diagram. You see, there is also another case. If A and B have nothing in common, if these two sets have nothing in common, let me give you an example. Let's say set A has elements 1, 2, set B has elements 3, 4. As you can see here clearly, set A, set B, they do not share any common elements. Okay, 1, 2, they belong to set A only. 3, 4, they belong to set B only. They do not share any common elements. Now, how do I draw their Venn diagram? I will draw the 2 circles separately, separated from each other. You can see here, this is how I will draw the Venn diagram. Okay, this is a special case. And what is the specialty about this case? The specialty is that they do not share any common elements. That's the specialty about the case. Okay. But the general Venn diagram is this one. This one is the general Venn diagram. Why do I say general Venn diagram? Because this Venn diagram gives you the idea that what kind of elements are there in A union B. Okay. Gives you the idea. Gives you the idea. So there is always a provision that A and B, they will carry some common elements. That is why this is the general Venn diagram. Okay, this Venn diagram represents A union B pretty well. Okay, and this is the special case. Okay, this is the special case. The yellow shaded region is your A union B. Okay, yellow shaded region is your A union that carries all the elements of set A and all the elements of set B. I hope I made myself abundantly clear, right? Okay. Now let's talk about some important tips here. You see, suppose there is a random element x and that belongs to set A. Suppose there is a random element x that belongs to set A. Then definitely that element will also belong to A union B. And why is that? Because A union B is the set that carries all the elements of set A and all the elements of set B. So any element that belongs to set A will definitely go into set A union B. Similarly, I can say any random element x that belongs to set B will also belong to A union B. As simple as that. Okay, but remember, vice versa is not true. Vice versa is not true. Vice versa is not true. Let me write it. Vice versa is vice versa. One second. Vice versa is not true. And what do I mean by that? That if some element belongs to A union B, if some element belongs to A union B, there is no guarantee. If some element belongs to A union B, there is no guarantee that it will also belong to set A. There is no guarantee, because A union B is this one, entire region A union B. Okay, if some element belongs to A union B, for example, my element is here, this element x, this belongs to A union B, right? But is there any, but does x belong to a set A? No, x does not belong to set A. X is outside set A. But if I take the element from anywhere here or here, then that element will also belong to set A. So what do I mean by saying? If any random element belongs to A union B, there is no guarantee that that element will belong to set A, and there is no guarantee that that element will belong to set B. It might belong to set A, it might belong to set B, it might belong to set A and B both. Okay, but these two are true, right? If any element belongs to A, definitely it will belong to A union B. Okay, now let's move on. Then if some element, some random element belongs to A union B, if some random element belongs to A union B, then it might belong to set A or it might belong to set B. Remember, the word or is very important. If some element x belongs to A union B, it might belong to set A or it might belong to set B. As you can see clearly that in this set, suppose I give you the example. If I take A union B, which will carry element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I said,
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Sir, once you see the chart, sir.
सर आप एक बार मीटिंग के चार्ट में देखिए.
यस सर, थोड़ा चार्ट बॉक्स में देखिए प्लीज.
सर एक चार्ट बहुत डिस्टर्ब कर रहा है.
One second.
Because the
One,
chart.
okay, 1 second. Thank you. Do not do it. I will not tolerate it. Do not do it. Nobody. I will get him. Do not do it. Okay. So if some random element x belongs to A union B, if some random element belongs to A union B, then this element x might belong to set A, it might belong to set B, or it might belong to set A and B both. Like here you can see from A union B, if I pick this element, you see, if I pick this element, if my x is 1, then 1 belongs to set A, right? Not set B. If I pick this element, if my x is 2, because I am picking an element randomly, I might pick any element of A union B. If I pick these two elements, they belong to A only, not B. If I pick these two elements, they belong to B only, not A. If I pick these elements, then that belong to both A and B. So what I mean to say is, if I pick any element randomly by random from A union B, then it might belong to A, or it might belong to B, Remember, the word or is very important. Yeah, it might belong to A or it might belong to B. Now you see, this is a special type of OR. This is a special kind of OR called inclusive OR. This is a special type of OR called inclusive OR that also allows for the fact that x might belong to both A and B. Remember, this OR is not any ordinary OR. This OR is not an ordinary OR. This is a special type of OR called inclusive OR. It also allows for the fact, it also permits that x might belong to both A and B. Okay, it permits. So all three kinds of elements are covered here, that x might belong to A, either x might belong to A, or x might belong to B, or it also might belong to both. This OR permits that. Remember. So as you can see here, if I pick this element, that belongs to A and B both. So remember. So finally you have to just memorize it. Okay, this is the understanding of concept, but ultimately you have to memorize it. That x belongs to A union B implies x belongs to A or x belongs to B. Remember, you have to memorize it, that you have to put the word OR. You have to memorize it, you have to put the word OR. Remember. And also, if any element belongs to A, or it belongs to B, or it belongs to both, then it also implies that it will belong to A union B. The condition applies both ways. Because if any element belongs to set A, or it belongs to set B, or it belongs to set A, set B both, then it will definitely also belong to, or it implies that it will belong to A union B. The condition applies both ways. That's why I put a double implication sign here. The implication is allowed both ways. Remember, very important. You have to memorize it. The next fact. Now, if my element x does not belong to A union B, why is that? If my element does not belong to A union B, why is that? Why is my element is not belonging to A union B? So let's draw the Venn diagram and check it out. You see, this is set A, this is set B. This entire yellow shaded region is A union B. Now you know that in this yellow shaded region, if there is any element here in this yellow shaded region, that belongs to A union B, right? Now an element will not belong to A union B if it is from the outside. An element will not belong to A union B if it is from the outside of the circle of A and B. That means these elements, for example, this element x, this does not belong to A union B, as you can see here. And why is that? Because this neither belong to set A nor belong to set B, or we can say this x does not belong to A and this x does not belong to B. Remember, this element x from the outside does not belong to A and does not belong to B. That is the reason why it is not there in A union B. So I can write it here that my element x does not belong to A union B. What does it imply? It implies that x does not belong to A and X does not belong to B. Both cases. Here the word and is very important. And means compulsorily both have to happen. When I am using the word and, whenever I am using the word and, compulsorily these two have to happen. That X does not belong to A and X does not belong to B. If this happens, then X will not belong to A union B. Remember. And here also the condition applies both ways. That if any element does not belong to A and does not belong to B, then definitely it will also not belong to A union B. Remember, for any element to belong to A union B, it has to either belong to set A or belong to set B. If it is not there in any of these two, if it does not belong to A or B both, then it will not belong to A union B. Remember, so you have to memorize these two things. Okay, you have to memorize this. That whenever it says X belongs to A union B belongs to, you have to write X belongs to A, X belongs to B, and in between you have to put the word or. But if it says X does not belong to A union B, then you have to write X does not belong to A, X does not belong to B, and in between, instead of writing or, you have to write and. You have to write and. So keep in mind, these are two very important concepts. So let's move on. Okay. So now, and one thing, you can take the screenshot from the video, watching the video. Okay. So I cannot waste time here. Okay. Now let's make an important observation. Let's make an important observation here. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay. So now let's make an important observation. A special case. A special case. What is the special case? Let A is equal to, it has elements say 1, 2, and set B has elements 1, 2, 3. Very important, you see here. And if I take A union B, okay. Now first let me ask you, do you see anything important here? Anything
Sir, A is a subset of B.
Yes. You can see here that A is a subset of B. You can see here that A is a subset of B. Why? Because each and every element of set A also belongs to set B, and that is the reason why I shall say that A is a subset of B here in my case. Now if I take the union, I know that A union B will carry each and every element of set A and each and every element of set B. All the elements of set A and all the elements of set B will be there in A union B, will be there in their union. So this set A union B carries which elements? First 1, 2 of set A. Now 1, 2 are also repeated here. They are also there in set B. But we never repeat any element in a set. We never repeat any element of a set. So we have to write the next 3. So this is your A union B, as you can see here. You see, as the definition of A union B goes, here the set A union B carries all the elements of A and all the elements of B. You can see it carries all the elements of A, 1, 2. It also carries all the elements of B, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it is right. Now you can see here this is also equal to set B. You can see here this is also equal to set B. Remember. So very important observation we made here, that if A is a subset of B, and I take their union, then I will get set B itself. Remember, this is a very important observation. If A is a subset of B and if I take their union, then A union B will be equal to B. Remember, in A subset of B, A is called subset, B is called superset. And if I take their union, I will end up with the superset. I will end up with the superset, the bigger one. So this is a very important observation. Okay, so let's move on. Now let's talk about intersection of two sets. Let's talk about intersection of two sets. Intersection of two sets. Suppose I have two sets, set A which carries elements 1, 2, set B which carries element 2, 3. Then A union B, sorry, A intersection B, the symbol for A intersection B is this one. A intersection B will carry the common elements of A and B, or you can say the mutual elements of A and B. Now which element is common between A and B? Element 2, right? This element 2 is common to both A and B. A intersection B will carry those elements which are there in A and B both. Remember, A and B both. Remember, common. So let me write here the definition that A intersection B carries the elements that belong to both A and B. Remember, that belong to both A and B. That's it. A intersection B is a set, that A intersection B is also a set, and it carries the elements that belong to both A and B. Remember. Now let's talk about its Venn diagram. Now you see, let us have a set A here and let us have another set B here. Those elements that are mutual between A and B, or those elements that are mutually shared by A and B, those elements will be positioned where? Where will they be positioned? Here, right? They will be positioned here. Because if they were positioned here, then they will come under the circle of A and the circle of B both, right? So this region, this yellow shaded region signifies the Venn diagram of A intersection B. Remember, all the elements of A intersection B, that is all the elements that belong to this yellow shaded region, that belong to both set A and B. Now, in our case, let's have two sets. Suppose set A has elements 1, 2, 3. Set B has elements 2, 3, 4. And if I want to draw the Venn diagram, then I will position 1 somewhere here, I will position 4 somewhere here, and I will position 2 and 3 here, because 2 and 3 are the common elements of A and B. So they have to come under the circle of A, and they also have to come under the circle of B. This region is your A intersection B, A intersection B, and here their intersection is what? 2, 3. Intersection is 2, 3. Okay. Now let's talk about a special case. Let's talk about a special case. The special case is for disjoint sets. It is for disjoint sets. Let set A has elements 1, 2, 3. Set B has elements 4, 5, 6. Now let's see if they have any element in common. Do they have any element in common? No, they do not have any element in common. You can see here, they do not share any mutual elements. So if I want to form A intersection B set, if I want to form the set A intersection B, then I will have to look for the elements that are mutually shared by A and B. I will have to look for the elements that are mutually shared by A and B. But here, in this case, there are no such elements that belong to A and B. That means no element will exist in this set. This is an empty set. This is an empty set, phi. Because there is no element to put in this set, because no element is mutually shared by A and B both. So I shall say, if A and B are two sets such that A intersection B is equal to phi, that is, they have no element in common between them, then I shall say that they are disjoint sets. A and B are disjoint sets. Remember, if two elements have nothing in common between them, then they are disjoint sets. Okay. Okay. Now let's move on to the next part. Important. Suppose I want to take intersection of any random sets. Let's say A is a random set A, and I want to take its intersection with empty set phi, empty set. I want to take its intersection phi. Okay, let's see what will happen. Let's say set A carries elements 1, 2, and what carries phi? Phi carries what? Nothing, right? Phi is an empty set. Now if I want to form their intersection, then I will have to look for their common elements. Well, I don't see any common elements between them. They have no elements in common between them, so their intersection is phi. Do you see any common elements between them? Tell me one. Give me one common element that is between A and phi. No element. So remember, any random element intersection phi is equal to phi. Remember this. Do not forget this. Another important note: if I take an intersection between two same sets, suppose let's say set A has elements 1, 2. Again, let me write the set A again. And if I want to form their intersection, then I will have to look for their common elements. And as you can see, their common elements are 1, 2, right? Set A itself. And it is very intuitive. We need not give the examples. It was very intuitive that between A and A is common. So A intersection A is equal to A. Okay. Now let's talk about the next important point. A special case. Say A has elements 1, 2. Set B.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
सर उसका वेन डायग्राम कैसे बनेगा?
Yes, very good. किसका?
पहले वाले का.
A intersection A. Yes. The Venn diagram of A intersection is set A itself. Okay. Set A itself. This is the answer. Okay. A is on top of A. The circle of A is on top of circle of A, and their intersection is set A itself. Okay. So this is the Venn diagram of A intersection A is equal to. Got it? Okay. Now here when two sets have no elements in common, that is their disjoint sets, that is the intersection is phi, then the Venn diagram is like this. You have to draw them separately. The set A, the set B, they have no element in common between them. Remember this. Okay. Now let's talk about the next important thing, that is, yes, here this is a special case. As you can see here, set A has elements 1, 2, set B has elements 1, 2, 3. Do you notice anything special about these two sets?
A is a subset of B.
A is a subset of B, right? Because each and every element of set A also belongs to set B. That's why A is a subset of B. Now if I want to take their intersection, well, I will have to look for the elements that are common between A and B. Well, all the two elements 1, 2 are common between A and B, right? You can see here 1, 2 are common between A and B. And isn't this set A itself? Okay. So you see here, this is a special case that when A is a subset of B, A intersection B is equal to set A. Remember, here A is your subset, B is your superset, and if you take an intersection between a subset and superset, you will end up with subset. You will end up with subset. And I hope you remember that in case of union, you ended up with what? Superset. You remember? In case of
Yes,
union,
sir.
you ended up with
Yes, sir.
superset. Oh, got it. Okay, that's it. So this is a very important concept. If A is a subset of B, then their intersection is at A itself. Okay. Now let's move on to the next part. That if any element x, any random element x, it belongs to A and B both. Sorry. If any random element, it belongs to A intersection B. If any random element belongs to A intersection B, then what does it imply? Well, it implies that x belongs to A and B both. That's why it is there in A intersection B. So how do I write that? I write x belongs to A and x belongs to B. If you remember, in the case of union, we had written here or. Remember, in case of union, we had written here or. But in case of intersection, you will write and. Why? Why should you write and here? Because the word and confirms it that x belongs to A and B both, right? X belongs to A and x belongs to B. I will eat an apple and an orange. I will eat an apple and an orange. What does that mean? It means I will eat apple, orange both. I will eat apple, orange both. The word and means I will eat both. So the word and means here x belongs to A and B both. I hope you got it, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, why is any random element not belonging to A intersection? Okay, yes. And one more thing. This condition also applies both ways. Because obviously, if any element belongs to A and B both, then that will have to be put in A intersection B. Because it is common element. Now let's see. There is a random element x that does not belong to A intersection B. And why is that? Let's see. Let's first see from the Venn diagram. In which case, any element will not belong to A intersection B. What is the case? Let's see. And you will see here, there is not one region, but there can be three regions. Okay, let's see here. This is your A intersection B. Any element that falls under this shaded region that belongs to A and B both, that will belong to A intersection B, yellow region. Now, suppose my element x comes from here. You can see clearly that this element is not there in A intersection B. Why is that? Because it does not belong to set B. You can see here. Even though it belongs to set A, even though this element belongs to set A, but it does not belong to set B. Now if I pick my element from here, you can see this element also does not belong to intersection B. And why is that? Because this element, even though it belongs to B, but it does not belong to set A. Well, my element also can come from here, from the outside. This element also does not belong to A intersection B. And why is that? Because this element x neither belongs to set A nor belongs to set B. It does not belong to A and B, any of these two. It doesn't belong to either A or B. It doesn't belong to any of these two. So there might be three different reasons. Why an element does not belong to A intersection B. Either it does not belong to A, or it does not belong to B, or it does not belong to A and B both. Remember, there might be three different reasons why an element does not belong to A intersection B. So how do I write it? I shall write it like this, that x does not belong to A intersection B. This means x does not belong to A, or x does not belong to B. That's it. If any element does not belong to A intersection B, it means that element x does not belong to, either it does not belong to A or it does not belong to B. Now you see, as usual, this OR is a special kind of OR called inclusive OR. This OR permits the fact that it is possible that x might not be in A and B both. It also permits it. In ordinary English language, suppose I say that I will eat an apple or an orange. It means I will either eat an apple or an orange in ordinary English. But this is a special kind of OR. This also allows for the fact that x might not belong to A and B both. It might not belong to any of them. It might not belong to any of them. This also allows for these both to happen simultaneously. Like here, you see that it is possible that x might not belong to set A, like here this does not belong to set A, or it is possible it does not belong to set B, or it's possible it does not belong to either. किसी को भी belong नहीं करता. So you can see here. So remember, at the end of the day you have to just memorize it. At the end of the day you have to just memorize it. This concept thing will not come in your exam. This is for your understanding only. All the questions that are there in your NCERT, only those questions will come. NCERT, all the examples and all the exercise questions and the extra questions that I give you, only those questions will come in your exam. The concepts that I am trying to explain to you, those concepts will not come in your exam. Nobody will ask you to explain this in your exam. Nobody will ask you to explain all these in your exam. I am just trying to make your concepts crystal clear. Okay, remember this. So you see, at the end of the day you have to just memorize it, that x belongs to A intersection B implies x belongs to A and x belongs to B. X does not belong to A intersection B implies that x does not belong to A, x does not belong to B, and instead of writing and, I will write now or. Remember, you have to just memorize it instead at the end of the day. And also this condition applies both ways. Both ways. Okay. Now if some element does not belong to A, or it does not belong to B, or it does not belong to both, then automatically x will not belong to A intersection B, right? There is 100% guarantee that if this happens, then x will not belong to A intersection B. That means the condition here applies both ways. The condition here applies both ways. So keep in mind, okay? Look, okay, you can take, okay. So let's just move on.
सर
Yes. Yes.
इसका अल्टरनेट मतलब यूनियन में जो होता है ना,
Yes.
and
Yes.
or not.
Yes. 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 You remember here? Let me write here. In case of union, you wrote x belongs to A union B. Double implication: x belongs to A or x belongs to B. And in case of x belongs to A intersection B, you write x belongs to A and x belongs to B.
And x
Remember.
to be.
Remember, at the end of the day you have to memorize this. Okay, but good students must also understand the concepts, because if you are planning on to prepare for IIT and NIT and whatever, all the engineering entrance exams, your concepts must be absolutely clear. Okay, otherwise you won't be able to get those exams, crack those exams. So concepts must be absolutely clear. So that's it. And one more important thing, yes. Now if x does not belong to A union B, then what do you write? You write x does not belong to A, x does not belong to B, and instead of or you write here and. You see here, x does not belong to A union B, you write x does not belong to A, x does not belong to B, instead of or in between them you write and. And similarly here, if x does not belong to A intersection B, you write x does not belong to A, x does not belong to B, and instead of and you write or. Okay, got it. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, now let's move on and let's talk about one more important fact. The fact is, if any random element x belongs to A intersection B, then definitely it will belong to set A. Remember, definitely, obviously. You can see here. Suppose some element belongs to A intersection B, that means it will come from here. Then it belongs to A, right? You see that A intersection B will carry the common elements of A and B. Any element that is there in A intersection B, that will have to be there in A and B both. So any element that belongs to A intersection B definitely also belongs to A. Similarly, any element that belongs to A intersection B definitely also belongs to B. But vice versa is not true. You cannot say that any element that belongs to set A will also have to belong to A intersection B. No, that's not true. Because if my element x comes from here, this belongs to set A, but does it belong to A intersection B? No. In order for it to belong to A intersection B, it has to belong to A and B both. So remember, here the condition applies only one way, not both ways. Remember. Okay. So let me move on. Okay. Let me erase it. Okay. And one more important thing you see here. Suppose I take an intersection between universal set and any set A. I take an intersection between universal set and any set A. I think you remember it. We just covered it, that between two sets, if one is subset and the other one is superset, if one is subset, the other one is superset, then their intersection is subset itself. Their intersection is subset itself. Remember. And here, any set in the universe is a subset of universal set. Universal set is the superset of all the sets that you are talking about.
Yes, sir.
Universal set is the superset of all the sets that you are dealing with. Remember, all the
Yes, sir.
sets that come under the influence of universal set. So if you take their intersection, the answer will be the subset, which is set A.
Yes, sir. A.
Remember. हिंदी में बोले तो यूनिवर्सल सेट सारे सेट का बाप होता है. गॉट इट? ओके. जो सेट को लेकर आप काम कर रहे हो सब उसी के अंदर रहते हैं. गॉट इट? ओके. सो लेट्स मूव ऑन. ओके. So this was all about A union B and A intersection B. Okay, and a lot of students have already left. Why have they left? Okay, Kaustubh Kiran. Okay. You see, this guy is using slangs. That guy Swagat, he used slangs also here. Very inappropriate thing to do. This is very inappropriate. Okay. Lack of culture, lack of parental guidance, it leads to this. And such antisocial behavior will land you in jail. Remember, such antisocial behavior, if it is not controlled, it might land you in jail. Because if today you can infiltrate into an educational meeting, then tomorrow, you will get encouraged and you will try to infiltrate in anything. You will try to do any petty crimes, and you will think that I will get away with it because I have a lot of money. But mind it, you will not get away with it. Crime always pays. So it is a crime to infiltrate any educational meeting and write slangs there in the message box. Okay, so that's it. A minus B is covered. Okay, sorry, A intersection B is covered and A minus B. Okay, let me quickly complete A minus B. So you see, let A and B be two sets. This is the last one. It will take me only 15 minutes. In 15 minutes the class will be over. Okay, in 15 minutes the class will be over, and in the next remedial class, that is there in the second half, we will cover the rest have. Okay.
Sir, today?
No. Monday or Tuesday, whatever. I forgotten. Someday there is a remedial class in the second half, both A and C section. In that section,
Yes, sir.
in that section we'll cover the rest. Remember.
Okay,
See,
sir.
let A and B be two sets. Okay, it is called difference of two sets. Difference of two sets. If A and B be two sets, then A minus B is a set, or is the set, not is a set, is the set that carries elements which belong to A but not B. Let me try to explain. You see, suppose set A is there, it has elements 1, 2, 3. Set B is there, it has elements 3, 4, 5. Now A minus B is a set that carries the elements which belong to A but not B. That means it belongs to A but it does not belong to set B. So you see here, look in the set A, these two elements 1, 2, these two elements 1, 2, they belong to A but they do not belong to B. You can see they belong to A but they do not belong to B. Am I right? But this element that belongs to A and B both, so it does not come under the category. Okay, so the elements that belong to A but not B, those elements will be there in this set. Got it? Those elements will be there in A minus B. Got it? Have I made myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now how to form A minus B? How to form A minus B easily? Suppose there is set A. Who is trying to join now? Okay. Suppose there is set A, it carries elements 1, 2, 3, and there is a set B, it carries element 3, 4, 5. Now if I want to ask you, if I am asking you to form the set A minus B, what you do, you check in set A, if there are any elements which belong to A and B both, you remove them. You remove all the elements from set A which belong to A and B both. Remove them. This one 3, it belongs to A and B both. So remove it. Whatever is left of set A, that is your A minus B. Remember, if I ask you to form the set A minus B, you have to look inside the set of A and you have to check if there are any elements in set A that belongs to A and B both. Remove them, and whatever you are left with, that is your A minus B. Remember? Okay. You can see, you can understand it like this. Suppose, okay, I think you got it, right? Do I need to
Yes,
explain
sir.
more?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So what is the
Yes,
Venn diagram? You see, this is set A, this is set B. This region is your A minus B. Why is this region A minus B? Because in this red shaded region, if I pick any random element from this red shaded region, then this element belongs to A but does not belong to B. You can see here. An important thing, A minus B set is also equal to set A minus A intersection B. As you can see here, if you remove the A intersection B portion, this portion is A intersection B. If you remove this A intersection B portion from set A completely, then what are you left with? You are left with A minus B, right? So A minus B is also equal to A minus A intersection B. Remember this, don't forget. And the last important thing, if any element belongs to A minus B, any random element belongs to A minus B, why is that? Why is this element X belonging to A minus B? Because this element X belongs to A and it does not belong to B. That's why any element belongs to A minus B. Why? Because it belongs to A and it does not belong to B. Remember, the word and always confirms, that both have to happen, that X has to belong to A and X does not belong to B. Remember, you have to memorize it. Got it? That if X belongs to A minus B, X belongs to A and X belongs to B. And the condition also applies both ways. Any element that belongs to A but not B will definitely belong to A minus B. Right? Suppose there is an element. Suppose I say there is element 2 that belongs to A and this element 2 that does not belong to B. Then I can say it without doubt that this element 2 will also belongs to A minus B. Remember, without doubt you can say it. That's all I am trying to say. Okay, so this is this much, and one more important thing, last thing is left. Okay, let's just cover it. Okay, I will take only 5 more minutes. Let's just cover it. Okay, today let's cover A minus B. It will be done. Okay, are you ready? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this thing is done. Okay, yes. Now, if any random element X belongs to A minus B, then I can, with 100% surety, I will say that this element definitely belongs to set A. Obviously, any element that belongs to A minus B, that will have to belong to A, right? Any element you take from A minus B, that will have to belong to A. You can see here, right? But is vice versa also true? No, vice versa is not true.
No, sir.
Vice versa is not true, because if you pick the element from here, even though it belongs to set A, does it belong to A minus B? No, vice versa is not true. Remember this. And another thing, if X belongs to A minus B, I can definitely say that X does not belong to B. Definitely. If it had belonged to B, I would not put it in A minus B. I put it in A minus B because it belonged to only A, not B. Okay, remember this. And one more last thing. Let's take a special case. Suppose set A has elements 1, 2, set B has elements 1, 2, 3, and I ask you to form the set A minus B. Like I told you, what you gonna do? You gonna look inside set A. And check if there are any elements in set A that belongs to A and B both, and you remove them. Here you can see
1 and 2.
1 and 2 both belong to B. You remove them, and whatever you are left with of set A, that is your A minus B. Whatever you are left with of set A, that is A minus B. And what are you left with? Nothing, empty set phi. Remember. And also, it is very intuitive to understand that since A is a subset of B, that means all the elements that set A has also belongs to set B. Then there is no such element which belong to only A, right? Because all the elements of set A belongs to set B. No such element is there that belongs to A but not B. All the elements of A are there in B. That means definitely it is phi. Intuitively, I do not need to take examples. I can intuitively say this, right? Okay. And one more important last thing, that if A intersection B is phi, let me take two sets, set A 1, 2, another set B, 3, 4. As you can see here that they are disjoint sets, they have no elements in common between them. And what if I want to find A minus B? You see that in order to form A minus B, I have to look inside set A and check if there are any elements common between A and B. I will remove them. Well, I see no such element is there that is common between A and B. So nothing to remove, nothing to remove. The entire set A is the answer, right? Entire set A is the answer, nothing to remove. Also, it is very intuitive to understand. Since A and B have nothing in common, then if I want to find the elements that belong to A but not B, then I will get all the elements of set A. You see, all the elements of set A, they belong to A only, not B, because their intersection is phi. Whatever elements are there in A, they belong to only A. They do not belong, none of them belongs to set B, because their intersection is phi. So obviously the answer is A minus B is equal to A. You can intuitively understand it. Similarly, B minus A will also be equal to B here. Why? Because whatever elements are there in B, that belong to only B, because you see their intersection is phi, they have nothing in common. Whatever elements are there in B, that belong to B only. So if you want to find the elements that belong to only B, not A, then all of the elements of set B, that belong to only B, not A. So the answer is set B. Got it? So that's it for today. Thank you guys very much for all your patience. Thank you guys.